Hi everyone and welcome to Germany for Student channel. Today is lesson number 22 of A2 level of German language course, and today we are going to talk about separable and non-separable verbs. Separable verbs are called Trennbare verben and non-separable verbs are called untrennbare verben. We will cover how to identify if some verb is separable or non-separable, and we will also learn how to use these separable and non-separable verbs in the sentences. So let's start with trennbare verben, which means separable verbs. In German language, there are many verbs that have a prefix. I have listed some of the prefix here, like ab, an, auf, aus, ein, zurück, fest, mit, nach, vor, zu. So whenever the verb has any of these prefix, that verb will always be separable. Some of these prefix are prepositions like an, auf, aus, mit, nach, vor, zu. So these are used as prefix as well as used as preposition, but the use is totally different. In this lesson, we have to use them in combination with a normal verb. Let's look at the first example. Abfahren. So fahren is a German verb which means to travel, and we have covered it a lot of times. Now, if it has a prefix ab, then it means to depart. Der Zug fährt 14 Uhr ab. Now, whenever there is a verb which is separable, then we have to use the prefix at the last position of the sentence, and the normal verb will always be at the second position and it will be conjugated according to the subject of sentence. So subject of sentence is der Zug and fahren will be conjugated according to der Zug, so it becomes fährt. Then comes 14 Uhr. Whenever we use time, we have to use the preposition and ab is the prefix which goes to the last position of the sentence. Next example is uncommon. Uncommon mean to arrive. Again, common is a normal verb which means to come, and uncommon means to arrive. Since the prefix is un, which is whenever it is used as a prefix, the verb will be separable. So we conjugate common with respect to the subject of sentence. Der Bus kommt 10 Uhr an. And again, we are using time. For time, we use a preposition and an is the prefix which goes to the last position of the sentence. Next example, aufstehen. Aufstehen means to get up. Stehen means to stand. If it has a prefix auf, then it becomes aufstehen, and this aufstehen is a separable verb, which means stehen will come at the second position in the sentence and auf will go to the last position of the sentence. So, Paul steht 6 Uhr auf. Paul gets up at 6 o'clock. Next example, ausschalten. Ausschalten means to switch off. Whenever we want to use switch off for some electronic device or light, we use ausschalten. Einschalten is the opposite of it, which means to turn on or to switch on. Since the schalten verb has a prefix aus, and whenever we use this aus as a prefix with a verb, then we have to separate the verbs. It's a separable verb, so schalten will be conjugated according to the subject of the sentence and aus will go to the last position of the sentence. Lisa schaltet das Licht aus. Einladen. Lädt uns zu seiner Feier ein. He invites us to his celebration or party. So ein is again a prefix. Whenever it is used with a verb, then the verb becomes separable. And if a verb is separable, then we have to use the prefix at the last position of the sentence. So ein is used at the last position of sentence, and laden will be conjugated according to the subject. Subject of sentence is er, so laden becomes lad, and it comes at the second position of the sentence. Zurückfahren. Zurückfahren means to travel back. Now you see that the first example was abfahren, and here the next example is zurückfahren. So fahren is the main verb, and zurück and ab both are uh, separable prefixes. So in this example also we will use fahren, and we will put it at the second position of the sentence. We will conjugate it according to the subject of sentence, and the separable prefix will go at the last position of the sentence. So wir fahren nach Berlin zurück. We travel back to Berlin. Again, we look at the next prefix, feststellen. Feststellen means to notice something. Der Arzt stellt eine Entzündung fest. The doctor notices ignition. So here again, stellen is conjugated according to the subject der Arzt. So it becomes stellt, and fest is the prefix, so it goes to the last position of sentence. Mitsingen, to sing with. We have learned mit as a preposition, but here it is used as a prefix with the verb singen. And whenever mit is used as a prefix with a verb, then the verb becomes separable, which means singen will be conjugated according to the subject die Kinder, so it remains singen, and the preposition will go to the last position of the sentence, mit. Die Kinder singen das Lied nicht mit. Nachmachen. Nach is again a dative preposition, but here it is used as a prefix. Nachmachen means to copy. Sie macht ihm alles nach. She copies him in everything. Next example is vorbereiten. Vorbereiten means to prepare. Sie bereitet den ganzen Tag die Party vor. She prepares the party the whole day. Again, vorbereiten is a separable verb, so bereiten will be conjugated according to sie. Here sie means she, and vor is the prefix which goes to the last position of the sentence. Zumachen. Zumachen means to close. Paul macht die Tür zu. Paul closes the door. Again, zu is a dative preposition, but here it is used as a prefix for the verb machen. And we know that whenever su is used as a prefix with a verb, then the verb becomes separable, and for separable verb we have to use prefix at the last position of the sentence. Now let's have a look at those verbs which are not separable. They can also be identified with the help of a prefix. So there are certain prefix, if they are used with the normal verb, then the verb will not be separable, like be, amp, ent, er, ge, hinter, miss, fair, ser. So these are those prefixes. If they are used with the verb, then the verb will not be separable. So let's start with the first example, betreten. Betreten means to enter. Die Lehrerin betritt den Raum. The teacher, here the female teacher, enters the room. Now, if the verb is not separable, then we have to use a simple sentence structure that we have learned, that we have already familiar with, that at the first position we can put the subject of the sentence, and at the second position we have to use verb, and verb it will always be conjugated according to the subject of sentence. Then comes the object, adjective, preposition, etc. Next example is empfehlen. Empfehlen means to recommend, to suggest. Der Lehrer empfiehlt das Buch. The teacher recommends the book. Now again here emp is a prefix. If it is used with the verb, then the verb will not be separable. Therefore, empfehlen will be conjugated according to the subject, which is der Lehrer in this example, and it will come at the second position of the sentence. Entfernen. Entfernen means to remove. Sie entfernt das ganze Möbel aus dem Haus. She removes all the furniture from the house. Again, entfernen, because of this ent prefix, the verb doesn't separate. Therefore, we have to conjugate it according to subject sie and put it at the second position of the sentence. Erzählen. Erzählen means to explain or to tell. Der Großvater erzählt eine Geschichte. The grandfather tells a story. Next examples for non-separable verbs. Gehören. If we have a prefix ge, then the verb will not be separable and we have to put that verb at the second position and we have to conjugate it according to the subject of sentence. Das Haus gehört ihr. The house belongs to her. Now, gehören is a dative verb, so the object of dative verb will always be in the dative case. And therefore, we have to use ihr for her in this sentence. Hinterlassen. Hinterlassen means to leave. Sie hinterlässt mir eine Nachricht. She leaves a message for me. Now, hinterlassen is again a dative verb, therefore, mir will be used for me, and hinter, this prefix is not separable when it is used with the verb. So, hinterlassen will be conjugated according to the subject and it will be placed at the second position of the sentence. Missachten. Der Busfahrer missachtet ein Stoppschild. The bus driver ignores a stop sign. Here again, miss is a prefix which, when used with a normal verb, the verb will not be a separable. So we have to conjugate this verb as a normal verb and put it at the second position of the sentence. Here the subject is Busfahrer, so it will be conjugated according to Busfahrer and missachten will become missachtet. Verkaufen, to sell. Ich verkaufe meinen neuen Wagen. I sell my new van or vehicle. Again, fair is a prefix, and whenever fair is used um, as a prefix with a normal verb, it will not be a separable verb, so we have to conjugate it according to the subject of sentence and put at the second position of the sentence. So, ich verkaufe meinen neuen Wagen. Zerreißen. Zerreißen means to tear. Zerreißt den Brief. He tears the letter. So here again, this prefix ser is not separable. Therefore, we have to treat it as a normal verb and conjugate it according to subject of sentence, and we have to put it at the second position of the sentence. So I hope that with the help of these hints, now it's possible for you to identify which verbs are separable and which are not. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comment and see you in the next video. Bye.